Hey. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Studio Day Jeffrey. It's good to see you. Today we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and their trade for Mr. Robert Quinn to play defensive end for their football team. And a couple of different things. One, how it shows us the difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles as team builders. And two, why you probably shouldn't worry about it too much. And this, of course, is brought to you by my friends at BetOnline. Go to betonline.ag and, of course, use that promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, and you'll get a 50% sign-up bonus. We got all the sports in full force right now. Maybe you want to get down on some Dallas Stars hockey. Julie can tell you when it's the right time to put something down. Julie Dobbs, co-host, 97.1 The Freak, 7 to 11 a.m. That's where you can hear me Monday through Friday in the DFW area and on the iHeartRadio app. But yeah, BetOnline is our partner here on the stream. And we love them. We love them. Whether you want to do live in-game stuff, whether you like your parlays or your props, whatever it is, all the different sports, BetOnline got you. Just use the promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, at betonline.ag. So a couple of things. One, I have seen a lot of people who don't like that the Cowboys traded for a past his prime defensive tackle for a 6th-round pick with a 7th-round pick coming back, and the Eagles went and got a big-name guy like Robert Quinn for a 4th-round pick. They're more willing to part with higher picks than the Cowboys are. And it's true. The Cowboys' modus operandi, is that a real thing, or did I just make that phrase up? The Cowboys' way of doing business is if the boat is leaking, they're going to do like the dude in the Flex Seal commercials, like the boat's cut in half, and they'll be like, all right, but how can we just kind of keep the boat together, and that'll be good. For as cheap as possible. And when it comes to run defense, they also don't prioritize that as much, so they're also not going to be, in the mix for a big name or big money run defender. So they trade for Johnathan Hankins. And this is just my opinion piece here, but that trade is a direct reflection of what they think about Neville Gallimore and Carlos Watkins' performance. And to try to get a guy that for 15 to 20 plays per week can be out there on 1st and 10 or 2nd and 7 and just hold ground against double teams. And is it an upgrade? I think it will be. A little one, but relevant and worthwhile, especially when you're talking about just flipping around 6th and 7th round picks for it. That's the Cowboys' way of doing business, and he's on a small salary. The Robert Quinn trade to the Eagles is interesting, and here's why it's interesting. Robert Quinn has always been a guy in his career that, first of all, he's had years where he has big sack numbers, but he has always been a dude that dominates the stat of pass rush win rate, which just means did you beat the guy who's trying to block you in the first? I forget how they measure it. 2.5 seconds. I don't know. I don't even know. 2 seconds. Whatever. But he dominates it, right? It's a relevant next-gen stat, and Robert Quinn has always been like the king of it, or one of the kings of it, because he's an explosive guy that's really bendy. So the Eagles trade a 4th-round pick for Robert Quinn because they could use an extra edge rusher. And my initial reaction to that was, 4th-round pick, it's not nothing. It is a day 3 pick. It's not nothing. But I'm like, okay, a 4th-round pick. He's got 1 sack this year. And then you go look at his pass rush win rate where he always dominates. And he don't dominate no more. I believe John Owning tweeted it out. There's 5 Cowboy players with a higher pass rush win rate. And then you factor in this little nougat that probably tells you something as well. The Bears are paying almost all of Robert Quinn's salary this year, even after the trade. Normally, if I trade for a guy, I pay his salary. The Bears are paying all except for the vet minimum. That's what the Eagles are going to pick up. So what these context clues tell you, and they could be wrong, and he could still have all the juice. But what this tells you is that the Chicago Bears, who, let me double check this, but I would imagine they have a lot of salary cap space. And I bet, because what they are doing is something that has become a thing in the league lately, which I kind of enjoy, which is teams that have salary cap space. Let me move this forward to 2023. Yeah, the Bears have $126 million in salary cap space next year. And so they're going to go ahead and pay some money out right now because why not? We're already on the books for it. Whatever. We can afford to do that. And then we will clear out money next year for a guy who isn't necessarily performing the way that we're used to him performing. And we'll pay for most of it. No problem, right? They bought a 4th-round pick. they traded a guy and paid his salary to get a 4th-round pick, which means if they weren't going to pay his salary, the Eagles, by the way, in 2023 have $2 million in cap space. If they weren't going to foot his salary, that means what they were going to get back for him was probably a 6th-round pick. So the NFL, it's interesting that nobody else thought he was worth more than that, because by paying his salary, you improved the pick you're going to get by at least a round. Maybe it was a 5th-round pick, but nobody else in the league was going to give better than a 5th-round pick. Maybe a 6th-round pick. And so I say all that to say, our context clues say that Robert Quinn is probably at the age of 32, about at the end. So I wouldn't freak out about it. Don't be the guy who's like, oh my God, the Eagles are trying their best to win. The Cowboys aren't. The Eagles gave up a 4th-round pick for a guy whose salary is basically zero, that was at one point a premier player in the league, that our context clues tell us probably isn't anymore. But like Mike McCarthy said when he was like, all right, I heard they traded Robert Quinn away from the Bears. That's great. We play him this week. Then I saw where he went, and I went, oh, hell. So I hope he's still a good player, even though he's going to the Eagles, because I hope that everyone does their job well and has a wonderful time doing it. But don't freak out about the Robert Quinn thing. Odds are he is, if not at the end, approaching the end of being a good pass rusher in the NFL. And so I just wanted to get that out there to you today because I had time. And so now you know what I think. Also, Cowboys, if you know what's good for you, don't run out your hurt running back like you did all of last year and then told us at the end of the year that Zeke was hurt. Don't run out the hurt guy. Let him sit against Chicago. Let him have the bye week. Then go back to Thunder and Lightning. TP can handle it. As his great quote from yesterday out at the Star, what did he say? They call it, I'ma haul it. Whatever you need, I got you. Malik Davis will be fine. Chill out. Let your guys be healthy, you jerks. Buttheads. All right, that's it. You guys have a great day. Thanks for being here. And remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everyone. I love you. Be easy.